Welcome to the SAP S4HANA Material Management Training. This course is also known as S4HANA Sourcing and Procurement Training. In this lecture, I'll be showing you some overview about the S4HANA Material Management, and then in the later videos, we'll talk more about the S4HANA and its features and Fury and all that. So before we start, let us understand who can learn S4HANA MM, or what are the mandatory requirements to learn this module. So first of all, basic customizing knowledge of SAP ECC Material Management module is mandatory to learn this course. That means if you do not have any background in SAP ECC MM, then this course is not for you. So you need at least basic customizing knowledge before you start it. Even if you have some super user knowledge, that's still fine, but you should have some hands-on experience on our ECC MM module. No previous HANA knowledge is needed for this course. You will learn S4HANA MM front end and also its backend customizing in this course. Not only configuration, but you will also understand S4HANA MM from business point of view. The only expectation from you is your desire and commitment to learn. So the target audience we have, they are the IT executives, plant production managers, project managers, SAP consultants, power users, business process owners. So that means for the project managers, if you want to get some understanding about what is S4HANA MM, what are the different features and functionality within this module, they can have a look. But the mandatory thing is, if you want to work as SAP S4HANA MM consultant, then you need the previous ECC MM knowledge as mandatory. So before we start further, let us understand why should we learn S4HANA as a SAP ECC MM consultant, and why should we be learning this module. Now, as we know that the SAP S4HANA is a new product in the market, and that's a replacement of ECC. So that means it's not a new version or next release of ECC. It's a brand new product, and where totally new features and new functionality are provided, and also the ABAP coding is rewritten. So we'll understand more about it in the later videos. So before that, let us understand why we should be learning this module. So first of all, it's the biggest move in ERP technology so far. That means with S4HANA, there's a big change for SAP with the new product and its feature that is launched. And as you know that soon SAP will stop providing the support for the ECC traditional module by 2025. So it's a big move and a new product in the market. So if you want to survive in the market for the long term, we need to learn it. As I just said, SAP will no longer support ECC 6 after 2025. Most of the new future implementations will be S4HANA. And S4HANA also providing the new analytical capabilities. We'll talk more about it in the later videos, but just briefly I tell you what that analytical capability means. That like in S4HANA, you can run a report, but within the report you can also drill down and do a lot of different changes or any type of like for example, if you want to remove if you run a report for all the blocked sales order, then you can see the list of the sales order, but also you can drill down within the sales order report, and then you can remove the block from that screen. So same thing, you can, for example, you can also run a report for the purchase requisition, all the purchase requisition that are waiting for release, and you can drill down, see the different option to see the view of the purchase requisition, and you can also change the purchase requisition, you can release it. There are a lot of functionality you can do. So this is under the new capability for the S4HANA that we'll talk later on. And also big demand for HANA migration project in the market at the moment. As you know that everything is moving towards S4HANA, so that's the main reason we need to learn it sooner or later. Also, as I just said before, that S4HANA is providing a lot of new functionality, new features that we'll talk later on. And one of the big example is the Fury apps, which is totally brand new experience for the end users, which is providing a lot of flexibility for the end users, where they can a user can start using the system via the Fury apps without any training. So this is very friendly, straightforward. They can have their custom screen, they can customize the screen, they can see what they want to see, they can remove what they don't want to see. There are a lot of different features that we'll talk about in the Fury videos later on. About this training. This is an e-learning video based training. This is a complete SAP consultant level course. This course covers all the topics prescribed for the latest S4HANA sourcing and procurement certification exam conducted by SAP. First few of the videos that we will see are all about learning the front end and the end user stuff. So mainly the overview of what is HANA, what is S4HANA, what we're going to learn, and also we'll talk about Fury apps, and there are some different type of customizing and views and all that. But the remaining videos are all about learning customizing and the business processes. How to follow this course? We recommend you to watch all videos first and then start the practical tasks on your SAP system. So that means first complete watching all the videos, then start doing the practicals. So main reason is that you may face some unknown errors during practicing linked to the incorrect customizing in the other modules like PP, FI, CO. And I believe that you might be using the shared server. So some topics explained in the later videos will provide you knowledge about these errors that you should be able to fix yourselves. So that's our recommendation, to first watch videos all complete and then start practicing. How to prepare for the SAP S4HANA MM certification exam? I would advise the below strategy, but please feel free to change as per your own experience. So this is just our recommendation, but you are most welcome to use any strategy as per your own skills and your own experience. So we recommend you to first watch all the videos in the order, then watch each video again one by one and practice for each topic on your server. So complete watching all videos and complete all the practice for each video, each topics. Third, now watch all videos again, but this time only go through the practicals where you do not feel confident. That means practice only those topics on your server where you're not feeling confident, but complete watching all the videos again. Now this time watch all videos this time watch only those videos where you do not feel confident. You can skip others where you feel confident. Now go through the certification question and see how well you can answer. So I'll be providing you some certification questions as well and answers as well, that you can have a look and see how well you can answer them. And you'll be able to access yourself whether you are ready and confident for appearing for the SAP certification exam or not. Please keep revising until you feel confident. Remember, the only key to learn SAP and pass certification exam is practice, practice, and practice. Now let us have a brief overview about the new system, which is S4HANA system. So as you know that with S4HANA, SAP launched a thing called Fury based applications. That means on the web browser you can perform any transaction. You can create and you can change master data, you can create transaction, you can do whatever you want to do that you used to do in your standard GUI screen. So GUI screen is still available for the on-premise version, but not for the cloud version. And you can also perform the transaction in GUI, but for the end users, they will have access to the web browser only. But for consultant, they will have the access to web browser plus our GUI screen as well. So let me show you this screen here. So here I'll log in to the HANA system. So I'll use my ID and password. So this is the GUI screen for S4HANA. Now you might notice that this screen looks different than what we used to see in the traditional SAP ECC screen. Now I'll come back to this point in a minute. Now in this screen, there are some, now you can, from this screen you can run a transaction and you can launch the Fury Launchpad, or you can also save it as a you can bookmark the link on the web browser and you can directly open the link. So here that's a transaction. You can see I can double click on this transaction, Fury Launchpad, and now it will open the web browser. I can close this message here for now, and here at the bottom you can see it open the Internet Explorer with a link. If you see this type of message that there's a security certificate something, just click on the continue to this website, and that's it. Here you can see I can straight away log into this screen because it remember my password on this system, my user ID, but you might be asked in your system to enter the same user ID and password that you use in the GUI. So the GUI and the web UI or this Fury Launchpad will be sharing the same password and the same user ID. So if you change your password, the same password will be used in the other system as well. So that's your screen. Now we recommend you to run the Fury Launchpad on the Chrome browser. You can still run on this one, but it's recommended it runs better on the Chrome browser. If I copy this link here, and here I'll open the Chrome browser. So there's a Chrome browser. So here you can paste it. It remember my previous link. I can paste it. And I can enter the same user ID and password that I use in the GUI. I can log in. So that's the screen. So we'll talk a little bit about this screen in this video, but in the later videos I'll go in depth about each and everything that you can see in this screen. Now I would recommend you to create you can bookmark it. You can click on this one, this icon on the right hand side on the top, and give it a name, bookmark it, and then next time you will be able to see it. So here I bookmark it, so you can see I created a bookmark. This is just one I just created, but this is the one Fury I created before. So next time if I need to open the Fury Launchpad, I can straight away open the Chrome and I can click on this Fury, and straight away I can jump to the Fury screen like this. Now to remember my password because I'm opening to the other screen. So here you can see that I can open more than one screen. So I can work, I can create different transaction on different screens. Same thing like you used to do in the GUI. You can run maximum of 6 sessions, but here you can run probably more than 6, but probably we don't need to run more than 6. But here you can, in one screen you can do something, and the other screen you can do something else. So let me close all other screen and I will just keep one screen for now. So here you can see these all little the white ones are called the Fury apps, or they are also called tiles. One is tile or tiles. and they are linked to a tile group here. On the top you can see they are the tile groups. They are the tile groups. Now if I can click on this arrow, I can jump to the next tiles like this. I can click on, say, goods receipt processing tile, and I can jump to that tile here like this, or I can click on this icon, more groups, and it will show me all the groups that I have access. So these are the groups. Now this access is coming from because I have assigned the roles to my user ID. I will talk more about it in the later videos, but for now you can see all the purchasing, mainly purchasing roles that I have assigned to myself. Now under each, for example, if I go to, say, purchase order processing, that's a purchase order processing. So here I can see the purchase, all the tiles linked to the purchase order processing group. So that's a purchase order processing group, and these are my tiles here. For example, if I click on manage purchase orders, if I click on it, it will show me the next screen, and here it's showing me the search screen, and it's asking me what you want to search. For example, I can say I want to search for purchase order for the supplier. You can search for the supplier. For example, I can click on this one, and the interesting thing about it is the search screen is enhanced. What I mean is, if I click on, say, if I type, I can, for example, if I want to search by vendor, I can type here. I created already a vendor in this system. I called it IKO, eco. Okay, if I type for eco, I can type eco here, or here if I click on this search button for vendor, it will open this screen, and I can search here IKO like this, or there are different ways you can do it. Let me cancel this. If I say OK, it will search, and I can go. Let me try it again. Or I can do a fuzzy search. That means in the search on the top, I can type here IKO. If I type IKO, and if I go, it finds this vendor. I can select this vendor. That's one thing you can do. I can select it, and I can click on OK, and I can now click on go. It will bring all the purchase order. So these are the purchase order I just created for testing in this system. But here another thing you can do, I can cancel it. I can click on go. It will search for everything. But here, for example, if I, in this search box only, if I search for IKO, I can do that. Or I can use a material code as well in the search box itself. So I can say C1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's the material I created basically to create, and I can click on search button. It will search for it. Let me try it again. For some reason it's not searching here. Let me try IKO. If I search for IKO, it does work. For some reason it's not searching for the material code, or I'll check it later on. But here I can search by material code here. I'll talk more about the fuzzy search and its functionality later on. So here you can see the point to be noted. I was saying that the search functionality is enhanced. What that means is, whenever you try to type something, system will automatically give you all the material. For example, I'm searching for a material here. System will give you all the materials starting with C, or anything starting with C, all the materials starting with C. So here I type C, it will show me all the materials starting with C, like C, Cyrus, ROH, or C, or wherever the C is in the material, or it can be either in the anywhere in the material. That means it can be the plant. For example, plant is here you can see this is wheat and the material number is 10, but it's why it's showing me this one, because this is the plant belongs to CH. So C is picking up C from there. So if I search for C1, you will see it will change, the screen will change. C1, 2, 3, if I search for this, now it only finding my material, because there is no other material where it can find a text which is saying C1, 2, 3. So text can be description, text can be plant, text can be material code as well. So we'll talk about it again later on. So here I can select my material here, and again I can now, if I go search for it, it will show me all the sales order linked to this material code. So that's your, so we'll discuss more about it in the later videos. This is just an overview. So here now, other thing you can do is you can also change the size of this screen or the text. What I mean is you can zoom in or you can zoom out. If you go to the setting, if I click on this icon on the top, you can see zoom button. So it's saying 110% for my screen. If I increase it, you will see the screen size will increase. So you can fit the way you like. You can see it's more bigger now. So I can go minus. I can go minus 110. For example, I can leave it 100 at 110 like this. Or you can go to the setting and make it the permanent setting for this one as 110 as well. There are other things as well. For example, here you can click on this icon which is showing my user ID SF-new56. If I click on it, there are different settings available here that are user specific that you can do. For example, if I click on setting, there's a app finder. I'll talk more about it later on. I can click on settings, and here the different settings like appearance, home page, language. So I'll talk more about it in a later video soon. So let me cancel it. So here you can see different types of data you can process using different tiles, and every tile group will show you what type of tiles does it have, like purchase requisition, service entry, center purchase contract, and all that. So we'll talk more about it later on. So I'll come back to the GUI screen again. So that's our new HANA GUI screen, and this GUI screen is only used by the consultants, and end user will be using, or the super user will be using, only the Fury Launchpad. So in this screen, you might notice that there are bit changes. You can see, for example, the exit button is on this corner, and even if I open a material, for example, you will see the screen looks different. If I say C1, 2, 3, 4, here also you can notice the search option. When I search for a material or anything, whether it can be vendor, whether it can be material, it will show me everything starting with that. So for now, I'll say C1, 2, 3, 4, 5, my material, and I will pick my material, and I created the material for my plant ZIKO. See, even when I search the plant, for example, when I type Z, it will show me all the plants starting with Z. Then I'll say I. There's only one with Z, I, and then KO. So I'll pick that up, and I'll say OK. So you can see this screen is similar like our traditional screen, but little bit different. I can click on this one, and also whatever changes you have done on this one, the save button is on the bottom right hand corner. Here you can see that's the save button, and again I can jump to the other tabs. I can click on this one. I can go to MRP data, MRP screen like this. So again, little bit different. Another thing I will show you with this screen, for example, when you open SE16, when you want to see a table, so if I search for Mara table, for example, here you can see the execute button is at the bottom right hand corner. So if you want to execute it, for example, if I click on execute here, it will then execute and show you all the materials. So here again you can see the screen is little bit different than our old traditional screen. So let me come back to the home page. Okay. So that's our screen. Now, most of us, including me, may not like the new screen and still want to have a traditional screen for HANA, S4HANA. So the good news is that yes, you can have it. You can change the setting and you can have a screen similar to the old traditional screen. So let me show you this one. So here if I go, so here under setting, if you go to more and you go to SAP GUI setting and go to options, and then the theme, if you select the other theme, if I scroll down, if you select this one Kobu theme and say apply and say OK, and now if I open a new screen, it will be the old traditional screen. So here if I go to more again, or let me do a control N. If I do a control N, see, it will open another screen for control N, and this screen is same as our old traditional screen. Now here in this screen, if I open Material Master MM02, see, everything is similar what we have seen before. But those search functionality, like the thing I was showing you before, that when you type Z it will show everything, that will still work on the traditional screen as well. So I also like to have the traditional screen because I'm also used to this screen. So you can see all this stuff like that. Same thing goes to if you open the table now, SC16, it's pretty much similar to, see, you can see the execute button on this left hand side, the top left hand side. I can execute it like this. Now if I log off and log back in again, it will remember my setting, and next time it will show me the old traditional screen. Now you can see the old traditional screen. So we'll leave it like that. Now we have the similar setting that we have seen before with the old traditional screen. You can do the setting, for example, font setting. So initially when I have access to this GUI, the fonts were very small. So I changed the font size to 18. Initially it was, I think, 10. It was very small for me. So I changed it to 18. And all the other settings are pretty much similar to what you have seen before. So like, make sure you activate this one so that we can see the keys when we go through customizing or we run the transactions. So all the settings are still available under this option menu. Identify your HANA system. Now this is very important. So let me show you. So here if you go to system status, here you can see, if I scroll down, here you can see the database which is saying HDB at the bottom, which is saying HANA database. Then you can click on the product version, this one, detail button, and then here it will show you S4 core. See, here you can see this is saying S4 core, and then you can click on this next tab which is saying install product version. If I click on it, it will show you the version of the system that you're using. So I'm using 1809 version, which is the latest one available while I'm making this course. But in the future, whenever we have the next version available, I will be updating the course with the new version, and we'll explain all the new features available in the new version. So basically with the new version, what they're doing is they're fixing the bugs, and they're also adding some new features like new apps and all that. So as I just said, whenever there's a change, whenever the new release, I'll be updating this course with the changes. So that's how you can identify your HANA system. Now there are two transactions basically. One for launching the Fury Launchpad. So one is basically for the Fury Launchpad, and another one is for the Fury Launchpad Designer. So Fury Launchpad is the one that we just launched before, and the transaction code is /n/UI2/FLP. So this will be used by all the end users, power users, functional and technical consultants. And the other one, which is the Fury Launchpad Designer, which will be used by the functional and technical consultant. So the designer, the Fury Launchpad Designer, is used for basically customizing the apps, the Fury apps or the tiles that a user will be able to see, and providing them that sort of access. So here we will customize all the catalogs, business roles, and the tiles. So we'll talk more about it later on, but here quickly I show you that that's a transaction that I was just talking about. So the first one was the Fury Launchpad that we used before to open the Fury Launchpad, where you can see all the tiles and all that. And there's a second one, which is a Fury Launchpad Designer. If I double click on it, it will open in a new screen. I'll close this message here, and it's trying to open it in the Internet Explorer. So that's the one. So here in this designer, we will be able to create customized catalogs, and we'll create the business roles, and we'll assign the tiles to the business roles. So we'll talk more about it in the later videos. So let me close this one. We'll close this Internet Explorer, and we'll be working on the Chrome version, Chrome Explorer. Purchase order cycle demo. So before we end this overview video, I will show you a simple purchase order processing on the Fury Launchpad. So here we'll create a purchase order, then we'll do the goods receipt, then we'll do the enter the invoice, which is the Miro. So now the same thing you can do on the GUI as well, using the same transaction. There's not much difference if you want to do it, but as I just said, basically all the end users will be using the Fury apps, so we need to make it working on the Fury apps. So you already know about how to do it in the GUI, so I'm not going to show in the GUI, but instead I will be showing you on the Fury apps. So here we are. So I already created a vendor, I already created a material master before, and already customized a org structure ZIKO that I'll be using to show you this demo. But in the later videos, I'll be showing you how you can customize your own org structure, and then we'll be using that org structure to continue with our next topics later on. So here under purchase order processing, if I click on this tab, purchase order processing, it will show me those apps linked to purchase order processing. So here you can see my purchasing document item, manage purchase order, and monitor purchase order items. There are some others as well. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 8 tiles under this purchase order processing. There isn't any which is saying create purchase order. We can have one, and we can customize one that will be saying create purchase order, and I will show you later on how we can customize our own tiles. But for now, I can use this one, manage purchase order, to create purchase order from this one. So this is basically, this manage purchase order is basically to search for a purchase order and drill down within a purchase order. So just before I used this one before, so if I search for IKO here, so for IKO, which is a supplier or the vendor for which I created before a couple of purchase orders. So here you can see I can click on any purchase order, I can open it like this. I can open it. Let me make the screen a little bit bigger, like this. And now I'll go back. If you want to create it, you can also create from here. So you can click on this. You can also copy existing purchase order. You can delete it. There's approval as well. We'll talk later on. But here for now, I'll click on this plus button to create the purchase order. So this will open the purchase order creation screen. So here you can see the cursor is already on, which is showing the red, and it's showing you the red star, which is the mandatory fields. So here I will enter the purchase organization, which is ZIKO that I created before. ZIKO. So here you can see, as soon as I type something, it will search for the relevant purchasing organization. All the purchase organizations starting with Z. So ZIKO, and I can select my purchase organization. So you can notice that as soon as I select ZIKO, system automatically selected the company code, because this purchase organization is linked to only one company code. So system is automatically picking it up. And here on the purchasing group, you can click on this search box. You can manually type as well if you want. I can search for everything, and I'll just pick the first one, 001, and that's it. And the supplier. So here I can open I remember the supplier code, which is a vendor code. I can click on the search box to show you, and I can type here, for example, it's automatically putting the company code ZIKO because we put that in the previous screen. If I search for it, there's only one vendor here, so I can select that one, or you can also search it here as well. And if I press enter, it automatically putting the currency which is USD, which is coming from the vendor master or the supplier master. So that's your header data. And then I can scroll down, and here you can see the item screen. I can click on this plus button again on the right hand side, you can see, and I can add material. So here I already created the material. I remember the code, but for just to show you, I can click on the search box. I can type material here, or under the material field, C1 2 3 4 5. I can go for it, and I can select my material, and that's it. So it automatically picking the plant which is ZIKO, because this material is only linked to one plant. That's why system is automatically picking it up. So you can see there's a lot of automation happening with this Fury Launchpad. So I can now here type the quantity I need. I can say, for example, I need say 7 each. Press enter, that's it. System automatically picked up the price as 11 USD because I maintained the PIR record. So we'll talk about PIR record later on. If you want, you can go to the item detail. If you want to see the item detail, you can click on this little arrow at the end where my cursor is, and click on it, and it will take you to the item detail. So here you can see all the item detail. You can see delivery address. You can enter the address. You can see the process control like goods received, yes, invoice received, yes, delivery completed checkbox, final invoice checkbox. Also you can have the delivery tolerances, which is 00 for the moment, and also you can enter a storage location here, but and that will be defaulted when you do the goods received, but I will not enter it here. I'll do it later on. Incoterms, source of supply, PIR record number, here you can see 377 ending with 377 and all that. So here at the bottom you can see the pricing. Price is $11. Price is picked up from the PIR record. At the bottom you can see the schedule line, and system picked up the delivery date and all that. So here if you want to go back, also you can okay, let me go back one step. You can click on this little arrow and you're back. So here if you want to enter more items, you can click on this plus sign again and enter more items. And when you are done, and also if I scroll down on this screen, which is the header screen basically, here you can see different data like delivery and invoice, payment terms, Incoterms that are coming from the supplier master, which is a vendor master, address also coming from the supplier address, notes, you can enter any notes here. There are different types of notes here. Header note, for example, test, I can type here. Again, there's another one, header note, pricing types, deadlines, terms of delay. There are different types of notes you can enter, shipping instruction and all that. Attachment, if you want to attach a link, any file, you can click on this plus sign and you can upload any file from your PC. That's all. So once you are done, I will scroll up. Once you're done, you can click on this order button on the bottom right hand side. So where my cursor is, bottom right hand side, this order button. When I click on it, it will create the purchase order. There's another good thing about this Fury app is, for example, in case if your session is lost, then system will save it as a draft automatically. So you can come, if your session is lost, you come back again and you can see it is saved as draft automatically. So all your data that you have entered was not lost. So you can still save it time. So okay, so here if I click on order, it will create the purchase order. Here you can see it generated the purchase order, and purchase order number is 4500000478, and status is saying not yet sent. Okay, so now we're going to do a goods receipt for this one. So I can go to home page again. I can then click on this button. I can go to, I already know where the tiles are, but with experience you will learn it. Warehouse processing. When you go to warehouse processing group, here you can see post goods receipt for the purchase order. I can click on it. Here it's asking me purchase order number. If you do not remember that number, you can click on the search box. Here I can search for the material, for example, C12345, or I can search for the vendor as well if you want. Press enter. It is showing me all the purchase order. Or if I go back, if I search for IKO, for example, press enter, you can see the same search result. So 478, the one that I use, I can select this one, and here we are. So 7 was the quantity. I can click on this in to select the item. So there's only one item. I can select the item, and but before that, it's showing me to select the production storage location. I can click on the search box, and you can see here that it's only maintained in the storage location called PROD, prod, production. So when I select the production storage location, you can see it's showing me the stock available here, which is another good thing. So it's showing me there's unrestricted stock of 34 each. Quality, there's 0 stock, blocked is 0 stock. So I can select this one, and here next you can, if you want to put the data to say blocked or quality inspection, you can do it. And then you can select on this checkbox here, and also if you want, you can go to the I can scroll down, you can see more, you can more screen here, you can see attachment, or if you want to go to the item details, you can click on this arrow at the end of the line item, and here you can see the line item details like this, for example, unloading point, goods recipient, and also you have the delivery completed checkbox. And you can go back by either click the cancel at the bottom right hand side, or this little arrow on the top left hand side. Anything you can do. You can click on the cancel here, and I'll go back to the previous screen. So once you're happy here, then you can click on the post button here in the post. When I click on the post button, if there is any error or any warning, it will show on the bottom left hand side screen. If there isn't any, it will straight away post. If I click on the post, it's showing you that one material document is posted. It's asking me open the material document overview. I can click on it. It will open the material document overview. So that's the material document overview. So here when you see this overview, you can notice that it's showing me the process flow. Here it's showing me the process flow. So all the data that we have entered is same, exactly same. And it's showing me the process flow. That means from this purchase order, that material document that we just created, and from this material document, this accounting document generated automatically, right? Here you can see this zoom in and zoom out button. I can click on zoom in, like see if you want to make it bigger, just this process flow diagram. You can zoom out as well. Okay, so once we're done, then we'll do the last step, which is the enter invoice. So I can go to the home page, and then I can find the relevant group, supplier invoice processing. I can click on it, which is Miro in our GUI screen. So here you can click on the create supplier invoice. I can click on this tab, and it remember my last setting, which is ZIQ company code. Okay, and invoicing data I need to enter. I wanted a date and invoicing party. So you can click on this search button if you want, or you can straight away type the invoicing party. So I can say search, I can say IKO, go for it, and that's my IKO vendor. And here mandatory reference number, so I can enter any number here under the reference number, so 5678 for example. Now here I need to enter the purchase order number. I can search for the purchase order number same way. I can click on the search box and I can search for, say, IKO, and say search, and the bottom one is the one that we created. You can select more than one if you want, but for now I'll just select the latest one that we just created. I'll say OK. So there was 7 quantity and 77 was the total value. And on the top, if I go here, you can also again go to the item detail here. If I click on it, you can go to the item detail of this one. It's here showing the purchase order history and all that. Net value of the purchase order document flow as well. That means from this purchase order, this goods receipt was created before. So I can go back again, and then now here on the top you can see, if I scroll to the top, so here you can see this is a very colorful screen. The balance is $77 and the invoicing party is 405, which is a vendor number. So here I need to enter that value, the 77. If I enter 77 and press enter, now it will become 0 here, and then I can post it. So I can click on check as well. Here at the bottom right hand side you can see check, simulate, post, hold and park. I can click on check. So when I click on check, on the bottom left hand side you can see there is a warning button, warning or error message notification. So showing a warning that no workflow active for the post journal entry. That's fine, but there can be error as well. So if there is an error, you can click on here and you can see all the errors, and you need to fix the error first and then you can only post it. For example, if I remove this quantity 77 and just enter 0 here, and if I now click on check, even if you try to post it, same thing, you will get the error. Now showing me 2 messages. If I click on these messages, so showing the balance not 0. So I need to fix it. It's an error message, so I can't post it at all. So you can see error message is red, warning message are yellow. So here I come back again, 77, I can do a check again and show me 1 warning. I can close it, and now I can post it. I can click on this post button and system will post it. Now saying the invoice number this posted, which is blocked for payment. Do you want to create a new supply invoice? I can say no. So that's it, that's done. So that will complete the purchase order cycle. So here if I come back to, if you want to search for this supplier invoice list, for example, if I click on supplier invoice list tab, I can search for the supplier which is invoicing party, which is 405, or I can straight away type IKO, for example. It will search for 405. I can search for it and I can click on go. So these are the documents we have, and the latest one that we posted was 77, which is the top one. I can click on it and then I can click on this arrow button on the right hand side. So here you can see the invoice we just posted. You can also jump to you can click on this purchase order number, you can jump to the purchase order like this, or I can scroll up here. Also for the item details, See, that's the item we just posted. I can go to the item detail by clicking on this little arrow on the right hand side. You'll be able to see here purchase order history and also the purchase order document flow. So here you can see that from this purchase order, item number 10, this goods receipt was created, and from this goods receipt, invoice receipt was posted. So that's how we create a simple purchase order and then goods receipt and the invoice receipt in the Fury apps. So that's all about this introduction part. So in the next videos, we'll learn more about it and in depth as well. Thank you very much to watch this video. We'll catch up in the next video.